Ladies and gentlemen, how's it going? Once again, I'm Ned from That's Tech Bits, otherwise known as your friendly neighborhood basement dweller. Don't worry, ma'am, I am from the internet. Today I want to talk about Elon Musk. Deus Vult. I really think that he is on a religious fight, a crusade, maybe a personal jihad against progressivism, an evil within progressivism. So progressives are awesome. Christians, awesome. You know, when they started out, both of them, they're freaking awesome. And then bad ideas kind of got put into their heads at a certain point, or instead of acting out of love, they were acting out of facility to a means to an end that was a financial thing and not about making the community a better place. The LGBTQ and Christians are both groups that were oppressed early on, but as they gained power, were infiltrated by evil. And I think everyone can, they definitely, there's love. They come from love, but just because you are these things doesn't mean you are love. But anyways, within this infiltration, we all know that within the West, everyone is Christian and all that stuff. So the LGBTQ kind of came at it and they were like, you're not good. and sometimes became the same evil on the other side of the coin. Now, what does this have to do with Musk? That's the thing. This thing that I keep talking about is important on the broader scheme. Whether you want to believe it or not, it is. It's out there and it's hurting men. Musk is one of these men that have been hurt. His daughter, one of his daughters, was taken from him by social media. And you don't know what that's like. You don't know what that's like until it's happened to you. You don't know what it's like until it's happened to you. I held my daughter in my hands as her life was leaving her, as she was a child. There was a second that I had to face the reality that there might be a future without her in some way or other. My partner should have known that there was a problem. She didn't. I don't blame her for it. The reason that she didn't get help sooner was she thought that she was a good mother, so she must have been giving breast milk. So everything must be fine, because only bad moms didn't give breast milk. Do you see how this is a bad idea that hurts kids? She was a fine mother. She just wasn't giving milk. My child has brain damage now because my wife didn't want to face feelings within herself and go back to the hospital. And I didn't feel safe checking her feelings. And because of this, my daughter will always have brain damage. I can't even say those words around my ex-wife. She won't even listen to the words. No, she had a stroke. Yeah, that caused brain damage. Now, the thing is, the doctors keep trying to tell her to make her herself feel better. And it's bullshit. The shit these new doctors don't know what was actually happening. I know. I held that kid in my hand. If you haven't held a kid in your hand like that, if you have never felt the sting of someone that you love just deciding because someone online said something, just check out. Then you don't know why Elon is doing the things he's doing. You know, it might even be the case that Elon is like that bad guy in Final Fantasy, the movie, that thought he was doing the right thing by blasting the core with the special gun that was just going to exacerbate the situation. It is very possible. But at the same time, ain't nobody going to go check the women on their bad ideas. And Elon lost a daughter. Elon lost his daughter to the social media. Sorry if I didn't say that sooner. Elon lost his daughter to social media, to the woke mind virus. That does exist, it does have problems, and it does need to be checked. The same way as bad Christians need to be checked. Now, do you think Elon wants to be spending his time going through financial information like a ferret? But if there's, I don't like Elon. I don't like Trump. But more than I dislike them, I really dislike the fact that Nancy Pelosi and, oh man. So I'm just Mitt Romney. How much money they made off of being in their places and just having money funneling towards them. Now, one thing I really want to try to break through to people is there's a cult, a gene stealer cult of bad ideas coming through social media. And I am infuriated by the fact that no one's looking at it and nobody's doing anything about it. And then they go and then they bitch about Elon. Elon is Ahab throwing himself onto the whale and firing his heart out into it. He's not getting paid for this. He is legitimately not getting paid for any of this. And on he goes. On he goes because he has been scorned. There is bad ideas within social justice warriors, within the left. The fact that I have to get on here and scream, I don't make money on it. This is like cathartic for me more than anything. But I am on the left, okay? Tell me I'm not. I'm on the left, far left. And everyone has left reality with the far left. We have too many institutions that hate men. Maybe we had institutions 50 years ago that only exclusively helped men. But the institutions that I'm looking at right now, coming as a person who was identified and got help within the system, grew up to think that if I just did everything good, and if I was good, good things would happen. That if I went to work, old age would get a pension, children would get a job, and the sick would get healthy. That's not how it's going anymore. The contract's broken. Maybe the contract was broken for women to begin with. We have a monster in social justice that we need to see and deal with. We're not saying anything about it, and we're waiting for elections before we do anything about it. There was a monster on Kamala Harris's Twitter page saying, I identify as she, her. Guys, there is so few trans people in the world, legitimately. Okay, I'm LGBTQ, I can say this. Ooh, there are so few trans people, legitimately. So few that you shouldn't have to put that out there, that the rest of us shouldn't have to do that. And if you expect the rest of the world to do that, well, then I expect some concessions of you. I feel very harshly like I was discriminated against for living on the internet as early as I was. People said I was addicted to it, and now everyone is into it, as I was. I was oppressed. What do I get for that? What do I get for normalizing your behavior? I was online all the time. Everyone's online all the time. So each and every one of you are addicted to social media per 1999. You are all addicted to it. Not all of you. All of you that go on social media. If you go on social media more than twice a day, you're addicted to it from 99 standard. What I'm saying is, there is an issue that's connected to an issue. That's connected to an issue. And this one isn't hard to follow because, let's face it, we all know that if dad has a bad day, he passes it on to mom. Mom has a bad day, she passes it on to the kids. Kids have a bad day, they pass it on to the animals. Guys, we know this. This isn't a joke. Like, this is a joke, but it's not a joke. We know this. Elon is a ferret of vengeance going through systems because we let jackasses like Nancy Pelosi and her husband make money hand over fist. We did things like let USAID, they did, USAID, which is like the central bank, which has nothing to do, the Central Bank of America, USAID, is not run or has nothing to do with the United States other than they are hired by the United States to... how does that work? How does that... I'm screaming. How does that work? How does the Central Reserve... How is it that police officers can't go in there? Like, they can go into USAA, but they can't go into the central bank? How is that? How is that not a fault in our stars? So we have to wake up to some realities that are affecting other realities. There is information that is classified from us because of how stupid we are and unable to deal with our belief systems. We wouldn't bring out the fact that UFOs were out there. We wouldn't bring out the fact that UFOs were out there until very recently because we were worried that grandma would have a heart attack if she realized that the Christian Judeo Yahweh isn't real. I'm really surprised that we managed to get dinosaur bones out of the ground because there are legitimately people these days who think Satan is making these dinosaur bones. We need to put these people in front of reality. And I would love to, because it's great for vengeance. It's great for vengeance. Absolutely. Absolutely. But what's really sad about this thing that's pissing Elon off is it's being pushed primarily by the people who have money and want to act like they have. So, sorry. I want to tell you something that happened. There was I was forced into a situation where I was up against organized crime from another country, and I had to work with them. Dealt with them. But the thing that I noticed is that going on, like there were some people in this organization that were army that went across the pond, came back, joined the police force. I will never trust American police that did that army, because you kick in throats over here and you're going to get parking. No. And the fact that this guy was involved in a criminal organization, it's like, really? Holy shit, that's a good image for America though, isn't it? Like, it's like the good people are like Hank Hill, King of the Hill. I really think Hank's a wonderful American. And then you get people like that guy. Wow. But anyway, so one thing I want to point out was I watched them as time went on, and they tried to act like they were nice. They tried to act like they were good. And when they made a web page, they had this, I swear to God, rich people need, I'm sorry. There's a reality for rich people that most of us are completely unaware of because they're in their own bubble. There's old money and new money. New money often doesn't see these things, these bubbles. But the super rich know that they have to work a certain way, and it has to look like they're doing good things. They have to signal. And this group, organized frickin' crime, was like, oh yeah, we're all good. We do things for the community. But they didn't actually list anything. Being good is something that we like to do. Being community orientated, but they didn't do anything for the community. It's as if there was a template set up and they could just never get their warped ideas around to the community page. There was nothing in it, and I knew how soulless all of the people there were. But anyways, that has been taken care of. I believe it's through the court system. I believe it is. But anyways, what's done in the dark shall be brought to the light. And if there's one thing I want everyone to remember, everyone, is that darkness fills everything, but light bends. If you can remember that, you can do a lot. A little mirror, man, you put a mirror in front of the darkest things on the internet. I mean, legitimately the darkest thing was on the internet, not what you perceive to be the darkest things on the internet. Yeah. We need to use the light and bend it into the dark. And that's what Elon's trying to do. But is he being a bad guy? I don't know. Thanks for listening to me today, guys. Have a good one.